This is going to be your weekly twin flame soulmate relationship reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies between you and your person. So in the comments, please let me know your zodiac signs and your word of the day. Now, as I'm filming this, it is Friday morning. The sun is shining. It's actually quite beautiful outside, despite the fact that it's quite cold. However, there is an intensity that's brewing under the surface. And the reason we feel that is because, well, new moon in Pisces is next week. What do new moons do? They lead us to full moons. Full moon in Virgo mid-March has a lunar eclipse. So eclipse energy is starting to intensify. Now, eclipses aren't necessarily a bad thing. Don't get afraid. This is about change. Yes, there could be some disruption, but it's bringing things to the surface for a reason. These are things we can't ignore anymore. Okay. Now, the reason I know that this is an intensity that's building is because I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me in the past few days saying, Kelly, I want to reach out to this person. I want to chase. And they're very honest about it. They're like, I want to chase the energy. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose them. I'm afraid of what's coming next. And ultimately, when we feel afraid, we start grasping at things that we know, right? A comfort zone. But as I always say, the comfort zone is really not so comfortable, because if it was, why would we want to leave it, right? So if you're feeling that energy, that pull backwards, you're not alone. But understand that that is a short-term gain and a long-term pain. And I know what you really want is the short-term pain, because you want the long-term gain. But getting the long-term gain means you've got to be uncomfortable. And that means dismantling a lot of the things that you know about yourself or about your relationship and going to the next level. So let's take some overall themes and messages for this reading today. And we have here chemistry. Okay, so here's the thing. Chemistry is beautiful. We all love passion in the pants. Who doesn't? It says here that there's a strong magnetic attraction here. However, chemistry can ride in very quickly and leave just as fast. So you have to be really mindful about what energy you're putting into this chemistry or what you're making of it. Chemistry does not make for a long-term relationship, right? It requires friendship, it requires work, it requires time spent together, physical touch, of course, right? These are all things that play a role. But magnets, right? They can pull us backwards, or they can pull us in a whole new direction. Which direction are you going in? I mean, that's why I always ask, are you in the old? Are you in the new? And what that actually means is, are you in the old energy of the past? Are you in an old story, an old narrative? Or are you wanting to be in new energy where you're excited about the future, what comes your way? Ask for what you want or better, because when you get the better, man, it's so hard to go backwards, and you may not even want to. I know myself personally, I've achieved the better, and it's beautiful, you know? So I encourage you all to let yourself be pulled forward instead of going back to an old comfort zone. So let's take a look at another love message here, and we have change. Interesting. It says experiencing constant enriching growth. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry. It's the punctuation or the lack of on this card. Okay. Experiencing constant as in change, right? And enriching growth. Well, growth does bring enrichment, right? It brings learning. I always say take what you've learned from the past, apply it to the present so you can have a better future, right? That's ultimately what we would like. Okay. Let me grab, I want to use this deck over here. Sorry. I thought I had my cards all ready for today, but let's see what we need to know here. Confusion and illusions and Neptune. That's that Pisces energy. You know, Pisces is this energy that says, I like to see the best in people. I like to live in my head. I love to imagine all the scenarios. It's the highlight reel of all that chemistry. I mean, look, who doesn't have a highlight reel, and who doesn't like to go there and visit every now and again, right? However, going to the highlight reel, living in an old story brings you confusion. And if you're in confusion and you're saying, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, you're going to get more, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, and confusion. And so that's something that we don't want. So that being said, let's get into the cards. Now, I always laugh because whenever I say I'm going to use, you know, one of these decks, it's a big deck, right? It's quite large for my hands. Deck with an E is what we always joke. But we call this deck the BFD in my online family, which is the big French deck. This is a deck that I purchased when I was in Europe. It is in French, and we love the colors of it, the artwork, but it's pretty massive. So I decided to use two big decks today because I was like, you know what? We have some big energy happening. So let's take a look at what's going on in your headspace. Now we're going to look at your headspace, your person's headspace, your heart space, their heart space, overall energy, underlying energy, and then we're going to look at what's coming in the next few days. So in your headspace today, we have the 8 of Earth. Now, 8 of Earth or 8 of Pentacles means you have work to do. And I tell people all the time, this is not about working hard. This is about working smart, because there's many people who can work hard and never achieve anything. And I say that respectfully. It's sad sometimes when you see somebody working so much or doing so much and not having the abundance. And the majority of the time, it's because they're doing too much. Less is more. Find ways to be more simple. Focus on the things that are most important, not 10 million things. Because again, that comes down to the confusion. If you're doing way too much, you're really confusing the universe. It's the same thing with posting on social media. If you're not posting in your niche and you're posting like 10 random videos of different things, like you've got cat videos and you've got learning videos and you've got spirituality videos and makeup videos, you're basically confusing the algorithm. And that means that you can't find your audience. So it's the same thing in regards to your day-to-day life. If you're doing this, and this, and it's not really in the same niche, how can you be clear, right? So let's take a look at what else you need to know here. The 9 of Fire. This is the 9 of Wands, which is basically 9 of wounds. You know, you've been through battle. And I think some of you are just feeling tired, you know, you're tired of the old, right? Working so hard and not seeing the results. And you're wondering why, like, why can't I have this? Or why is this so difficult? Again, less is more. So let's take a look at your person's headspace. What do we need to know? And we have the 5 of Swords. Well, they're in some conflict. You know, they've got a headache. There's stresses that are occurring. And let's see. The 10 of Pentacles. They could be stressed about finances, and that doesn't surprise me, actually. Something that I've seen pop up in relationship readings in the last couple of days is that your person might be concerned about whether they're good enough financially or whether they have enough or whether they can provide. Now, we know that that doesn't necessarily matter to us, right? It's not about who makes more or who has more. It's about the connection. But ultimately, you know, people like to feel fulfilled. They like to feel like they're bringing something to the table. So it could very well be that your person is struggling in regards to their finances or their work environment. Now let's take a look at your heart space, and we have here the 7 of Earth. 7 of Earth or Pentacles means that you're going to harvest. It's just you're not going to harvest overnight, and you might be having some worry and anxiety about things not happening quickly enough. And therefore, you know, it puts us in a masculine energy to chase, and that could explain why, if you've been wanting to chase the energy, you know, you're saying, well, when? And I'm going to remind you of what I always say, you know, in a garden, you can't go busting out the Miracle Grow and getting a wheelbarrow of manure and thinking that you're going to have flowers tomorrow or fruit on the trees instantly. It means that the seed is planted, not going to harvest overnight, but it will in due time. It's essentially, you know, a trust the process kind of vibe. And the question is, are you trusting the process? Number one. Number two, are you trusting their process? Now, you can give someone a grace period, right, to get their life in order. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there does come a point where you can't really wait anymore, right? How long do you want to wait? How many rounds do you want to go? At a certain point, there has to be a shift or change. I look at it like this. Somebody doesn't have to have their life fully together, because who does, right? We're constantly changing, we're healing, we're growing, we're learning. So nobody's perfect. Nothing's ever going to be 100%. However, I will say that there's got to be ambition along with it. You know, that's attractive to me. I don't know about you, but when I see somebody who's ambitious about their career and their life, yeah, they may not make $1 million, but that's okay. They're doing things to better their situation. That's the key. Is your person doing what they need to do to better their situation? Are you doing all you can do to better your situation? And it doesn't even have to be financially. It can be emotionally and spiritually. Everybody's responsible for their own healing, right? So with that, we have here the 10 of Air. You've had a lot of swords in your back and you're tired. This is an energy that says, you know, dead, done, and over with. Like, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. And that's okay if you feel that way. Just understand that there's got to be a logic behind it too, right? Don't let your emotions get the best of you. It's all about balancing So let's take a look at your person's heart space. And we have here, well, I can't even make this up. It wouldn't be a Kelly Lorraine reading without this. If you know, you know. This is the Knight of Pentacles. Trust the process. It's almost like your person is asking you to trust the process. Now, again, just so you know, that's not waiting. It's patience, yes, but it's not waiting. You still have to do things in your own life. You've got to get yourself going and growing and changing. Don't worry about leaving anybody behind. You're not going to lose what's meant for you, right? And with this, we have here the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is public recognition and victory. There is victory to be had here. It's a matter of trusting and believing. But the more we panic, and get anxious, the more we get in our own way and we manifest the things that we don't want. And then all of a sudden we're sitting there going, well, why did this happen? Why? So overall, let's take the overall energy, one from each deck here. We have here the Tower card. Okay, so some of you may be having a Tower moment and you could possibly be saying, why me? Why is this happening to me? It doesn't happen to us, it happens for us. That's the shaking up of the energy. That's that eclipse energy coming through, and that's okay. I don't normally talk about comments that were on my videos, but there was something that really touched my heart this morning. It made me feel sad to hear this. Somebody made a comment saying like, why, this isn't verbatim, but like, why did I receive this potential romance for it to just be taken away and to hurt me and to make things worse in my life? Again, not verbatim, just me thinking through the energies. And why that makes me sad is because it's the cake analogy. If you've seen my cake analogy video, you know. If you haven't, then I suggest you watch it. I can put it into the description box below, because essentially someone comes into your life with this idea or this promise of romance, of getting your due, because you haven't been changing enough or you've been avoiding the change that you need to make. It comes to you to show you all the things that need to change, right? And then once you get that motivation, you start doing all the things you need to do. And then funny that love kind of runs away from you because it's trying to show you how to get it, how to put yourself first, how to make boundaries. And so I just want to remind you that none of this is a punishment. None of this is about, you're being hurt or punished for whatever reason. It's because it's trying to show you how to be better and how to have better. I know that's hard to see in the moment sometimes, but my heart goes out to you if you're in that energy. Everything will be okay. Now, overall, we have here the Eight of Wands, which is manifestation and communication. Look, in order to get the things you desire, you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to shoot your shot, even after that Tower moment, right? Because that's how you rebuild. That's how you achieve the experience. Now, underlying energy, we have the Nine of Water. So I've been saying this to a lot of people in my sessions, and that is, what do you want? I feel like I'm in the notebook. What do you want? A lot of people don't know what they want. They know what they don't want, but they're afraid to say what they want because they're afraid that if they say what they want, they're not going to get it. They're going to be disappointed and it's going to be embarrassing. And you don't have to worry about that. We're all in the same boat. Now, underlying energy, we have the Four of Coins. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second because my mind went to the Six of Pentacles. Now I know the difference in my Roman numerals, but something was saying to me, Six of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is equal giving and receiving and balance. You have to ask yourself, do you have balance in your relationship? Do you have balance within you, a balance of your own masculine and feminine energies? But the Four of Pentacles essentially is saying, don't hold back. Like, you're holding back, and your person as well, possibly, both of you even, from saying what you want, right? Mean what you say what you mean. So let's take the after tarot cards here just to see what else we need to know. These are the energies coming up in the next few days. Don't be discouraged if you're feeling like the energy is a little bit off. I mean, last week's reading was beautiful and lovey and vibrant, right? But when we get into this like eclipse energy, it starts to crack the surface a little bit, Now, in your headspace in the coming days, see the Knight of Cups. We had this last week, and I know, trust me, this is an energy that says you're going to open your heart more. Even if it feels tough right now, even if it feels like you're hurt or you're struggling, it will get better. The Ace of Pentacles, you will get an offer of something here. This is tangible. This is nourishment. This is something that could say, you know, new home, new job, new level of relationship. Now, in your person's headspace in the coming days, they're trying to simplify their life, and look what's happening. They're finding that balance. We just talked about the fact that they might be struggling with, you know, feeling good enough for their finances. They're working on it. They're working on it. And with that is the Knight of Wands. Well, the Knight of Wands is passion in the pants. We talked about chemistry earlier. It can ride in quickly and leave just as fast. But in the after tarot, this is somebody who's like making moves. You know, they're riding in with that heat, with that passion, that intensity. Now, we don't know when. We can't say when. There's no when, because if we say when, then all of a sudden we're trying to control the outcome. You know, when. Now, in your heart space in the coming days, we have here the Three of Cups, celebration and joy. You will harvest. That can even be a proposal, an engagement in general, going to the next level. And with that, the Queen of Swords. How do you get there? By making boundaries, putting yourself first, not waiting on anything, letting the energies unfold. And in your person's heart space, the Sun. Here comes the Sun. This is so beautiful. It really is. It's a tough energy, I know right now, but it will be okay. See, the 10 of Wands. Now, 1010 could be an angel number that you're seeing. 10 of Wands means you've got burdens, okay? Like mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally exhausted. But guess what? This is the after tarot. This is the coming energies. And look now, he's holding one wand, okay? That means fire, intensity, creativity, passion, brand new beginning. So he's put down the other 9. He's holding one, which says, I'm ready for a new start. Now, overall energy, we have here the 5 of Wands. We had the 5 of Swords earlier. 5 of Wands on the after tarot says, we're getting out of the conflict. We're not going to do this back and forth anymore. Oh, 4 of Wands, 1111, spiritual ascension. Twin flame. Beautiful. Marriage, stability, underlying, oh my gosh. I hope people watch to the end, honestly. If you've come this far, please tell me you made it to the end. Tell me, give me confirmation that you trusted the process to get to the end. Please, please. There's the Knight of Wands receiving the coin. There's the award. Now, Page of Wands, throwing caution to the wind. Look, all the fire coming through. A lot of Wands cards all of a sudden, right? Now we're getting that movement. Wand energy is fire. It's movement. Okay? So let's take a power of surrender card for each side here, just to see what you need to surrender or surrender to. So for you, we have here surrender to wonder and awe. Enjoy the beauty of the world. That's really what it's saying. Open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. This attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow. We like ecstasy and we like flow. So let's see. What does your person need to know? And we have here, surrender your fear of intimacy. They may have been afraid. They may still be afraid, but it can change and grow. You're ready to let love in, compassionately identify, and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. Deep reading. Like I said, I hope you made it to the end. Thank you so much for your time. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in the description box below. I'll also put the cake analogy for you. Thank you again, and I wish you an amazing day.